Let's move on to the markets in Nigeria. Of course, the markets have been a bit volatile recently, but today we did see the NSE index rising to 33,895 points. That's up 1.2%, really on the back of gains we saw in Dangote Cement today. Dangote Cement, of course, I mentioned earlier, rose about 8.9%, lifting the index to this new level. Of course, it's now closer to the 34,000 points mark, one of the highest levels we've seen since 2008. And of course, that key, I think a lot of investors will be looking at when will the market get back to that all-time high of well over 60,000 points, which was set in March 2008. We'll see how the market trades over the rest of this year. But let's now cross to the Nigerian Stock Exchange to hear from Opeyemi Oladejo. He's the Chief Operating Officer at Mountain Investment and Securities. Opeyemi, it's great to have you on our show. Of course, the market moving higher today, but I think what is lost in the movement we saw today is the fact that profit-taking has really hit a new high recently. It's really a story around Dangote Cement lifting that index higher today.
Yes, you're right about that. There's been much profit taking in the course of the week. The market actually started in the week on a negative note, losing about 0.02% on Monday and gained about 0.2% on Tuesday. By Wednesday, as a result of the result of Nestle PLC, it climbed up to well over 1.2%. By Thursday, it lost 0.6%, and today we've seen about 1.16% gain on the ASI.
And of course, another okay, I was just going to say, Opeyemi, that another company that has lost today is Nigerian Breweries after they released those numbers, pretty flat profit numbers today. And of course, we saw the market, if you like, reject that result. So the stock price falling by about 4 naira. Your thoughts on what people are saying about the valuations of some of these consumer companies like Nestle, Nigerian Breweries? These are stocks that have really risen significantly, and right now we get the sense that the results are not supporting the prices at the current levels.
Yeah, you're right. The results actually not supporting the price at this level, because if you look at the stock, Nestle, for instance, the dividend yield on Nestle is just about roughly 1.7%. You know, because the final dividend Nestle is paying is 18.50 kobo, and they paid an interim dividend of 1.50 kobo. So 20 naira on the stock of roughly 918 naira is nothing really good when you look at dividend yield. And so it's also the same for Nigerian breweries. They actually made, in terms of the turnover, they actually made a 20% increase in turnover, but their cost of sales was actually the problem, because there was also a rise of 26%. You know, and that actually accounted for the low level of their top line. And there was also about 8 billion naira finance charges as well too. So basically that led to a flat PAT of about 38 billion. And at the end of the day, I think they're going to pay dividend of 22 billion, which is about 57% payout ratio. And if you look at the yield as well too, the dividend yield on Nigerian breweries too, it's just going to be in the range of about 2%. Right. So you know, you expect investors typically are not happy, because I mean, if I'm buying a stock and I'm getting dividend yield of about 2% in a year, and there are other avenues whereby I can make more money, you know, then obviously I don't think investors are going to be happy with these stocks. They rather sell those stocks and divest to other areas where they will get better returns.
Of course, dividend yield is one thing that will be on the minds of investors as we move further into the earnings season. But let's stick with the discussion around profit taking today. And I think one sector that was pretty hard hit is the insurance space. It's really fallen back a little bit after the recent gains. Your thoughts about people who have decided to play insurance stocks right now? Do you think this is the time to start taking profits? Because some people say that they're still trading at distressed valuations for quite a number of those companies.
Sorry, could you come again?
Yeah, I was
getting the last part of the question.
Right, I wanted to get your sense about the insurance space. Do you think that investors who have invested in that space, of course it has rallied recently, do you think they should also be taking profit now, or should they wait and perhaps reap the value of these companies?
Basically, the insurance companies actually just rose on the sentiments that follow the banking industry, the banking sector. Don't forget that in the last couple of weeks, there has been rally in the banking sectors. And at a point in time when investors felt that some of these prices of these banks had gone beyond the level where they were not too comfortable with, so they had to migrate to the insurance sector. And just one poor result from international energy insurance actually led to a run, if you want to call it that way, on insurance stocks, and since that time there's been a fall in the price of those stocks. You see, my fear with the stocks now is that the results are not yet out. That's the insurance result, and I foresee them releasing results that are not too good, you know, and that's to a large extent might also impact on the prices. So I think what investors will want to do at this point in time is just to like take out their profit for those that have made profit, you know, and then wait for the result to come out and see whether they can now come at and get those stocks at their proper price, at the fair value, which in most cases is about 50 for the majority of insurance stocks.
Okay.
However, having said
okay, go ahead. I wanted to ask a question, but go ahead.
Yes, having said that, you know, that is not to say that there are some insurance stocks that have been making, that can actually that have been doing quite well. You know, stocks like ICO, Custodian Insurance, and NEM. Stocks that in the last couple of years have been paying consistent dividend. Those ones don't have a problem with respect to sentiments, investors' patronage. But the ones that you want to like call speculative stocks, those are the ones that investors have to be worried about and have to be very careful.